good, YouTube? This is your boy, Aaron.
It's Brian.
This is the Courtside View Podcast, and we are back today to discuss NFL playoffs. We're also going to get to the QB tier list, and we're going to get to many, many more things. But I want to start off with the QB tier list, and then we're going to transition to the NFL playoffs.
Okay.
So it's been a minute since we've given our last QB tier list. We're at the end of the regular season, so I feel like just how we did it the last year, we're going to do it the same thing where we're going to give an update on just everything that has transpired from the NFL with the QBs and stuff, and we'll give you a legitimate update on our QB rankings as of right now. So I'll start it off right now, and then I'll turn it on to Brian for his QB tier list. Let me get it right now. All right, so same thing I did the last time where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiers. And the worst of them all is he stinks. You have small sample size, which pretty much means that the QBs haven't played much, so I can't really give a judge on how exactly good they are because they have a small sample size. Bad but not the worst. Mid. He's a dude. He's him. So, without further ado, let's get it going. All right. He stinks. I have Joe Flacco. I have Daniel Jones. I have Will Levis. I have Aiden O'Connell. And last but not least, this quarterback has just plummeted so much since the last time we done our QB tier list. And I'm talking about Kirk Cousins.
Man.
Bad but not the worst. I have Derek Carr. I have Trevor Lawrence, and I have Anthony Richardson. Let's get to mid. A bunch of QBs are in mid. It used to be a lot of QBs are on but after what I've seen the past 6, 7, 8 weeks, it's a bunch of dudes that have just been disappointing or just been Brock Purdy is on mid. Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud, Drake May, Justin Fields, Geno Smith, Dak Prescott, Tua, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young, and Kyler Murray. All are on mid. He all right. I still have Patrick Mahomes. I have Jordan Love. I have Matthew Stafford. I have Justin Herbert. I have Jalen Hurts. I have Bo Nix. He's a dude. More people on he's a dude now. I have Jared Goff. I have Sam Darnold. I have Baker Mayfield. And I have Jaden Daniels. He's him. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. That is my QB tier list. I will give it to Brian now.
Okay. We definitely have some movement on my end of the list. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 7 tiers just like Aaron has. First tier, self-explanatory, is the S tier. Those are the elite of the league. A tier, which is the guys that you could put probably in the 6 to 10 range. Actually messed up. There we go. B tier, those are like the 10 to 15, 10 to 20 type guys. Hot and cold are dudes. Like Aaron said, they pretty much been underperforming. They'll have a good game here, and then other games you'll be like, what is going on? Put the fries in the bag is the worst tier, which means you shouldn't even be playing QB in this league at this point. Not enough reps, self-explanatory, and hasn't played /injury, also self-explanatory. We're going to start from the bottom up. Put the fries in the bag tier. We're going to go Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins. Shame what happened to that boy. Aiden O'Connell, Deshaun Watson, towards Achilles again, by the way. Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco, Will Levis, and Tommy DeVito. Hot and cold tier, we have Derek Carr, Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith, Drake May, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Aaron Rodgers, and Michael Penix. Now, I was debating on putting Penix in the not enough reps tier, but 3 games, he played pretty solid in those games too. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. B tier, we have Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Dak, Kyler, Bryce Young, Tua, Russell Wilson, and Bo Nix. A tier, these are the dudes that you can put in the top 10 and you really wouldn't get no pushback from me for this season. Jared Goff, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, and Sam Darnold. Now, S tier, you know the QBs I left off, but I'm going to still go through them anyway. S tier is the top 5 dudes in the league, or the top 4 dudes in this case. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, MVP Lamar, by the way, but anywho, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. And that's the tier list.
I feel like C.J. Stroud should be on hot and cold.
I would have put him there, but consider his circumstances, like
Play calling,
and offensive
O-line.
line.
So you're looking at it from, well, he's a victim of his circumstance.
Yeah.
But then you could also say, well, some of his, like that
He definitely has some
that Christmas
bad
Day game,
performances,
that
yeah.
Christmas Day game, it wasn't just the play calling that was bad. It was him. He was missing throws.
That is true.
I mean,
I am giving some dudes the benefit of that. I wanted to put Kyler in hot and cold.
okay. Well, I think to some degree, I think I put him on mid-tier. I was going back and forth with CJ if I should put him on bad but not the worst. But then I looked at it, well, if I have Drake May at mid-tier, I have to have him on mid-tier. And if I have Caleb Williams on mid-tier, I have to have CJ Stroud on mid-tier because I don't think they're the way that they played this year should be better than what CJ Stroud played this year. I feel like they're all in the same sort of category. So I went back and forth. I was like, I'll just put him on mid-tier. I feel like that's where he belongs. He had a mid-season.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't spectacular. And I feel like if you want to put him on B tier, that's fine. I just think the way that he's played this year is more of a hot and cold type of season for me. Just going off of the way that you labeled the tiers. That's just what I looked at.
That's fair.
I understand your Mahomes bias, so you're never going to leave Mahomes off of that S tier. I understand, his greatness, and he has been playing a lot better as of late. I still have him a notch below like the Sams, the Sam Darnolds, the other guys, because I just think they have been playing on a level that's close to MVP level, and then you have the MVP caliber players that have been playing on an MVP level, the Lamars, the Joe Burrows, the Josh Allens. So that's how I really looked at it. I'm looking at it from how you play this year. Have you been playing close to an MVP level? Have you been playing on an MVP level? And so on. So I just think Mahomes, he has been playing really good. It's just I still won't forget all the other games that he has played and how mediocre he's been and how underwhelming he's been. He's been all right.
That's fair.
I just look at it like he's been all right. He hasn't been great, but he's been all right, which is nothing wrong.
In a down year, he still
Got like 28 touchdowns?
26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
I mean, it's not bad. He's been all right. It's not a bad season.
No, not at all.
It's not the caliber of what we've normally seen from him, but he's been all right. He could always turn it around. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest weapons in the world, but he's been all right. So I'm not mad at it. I think my list was okay as well. But yeah, that is our QB tier list for the end of the regular season for the 2024 season. We'll give our QB tier list after the Super Bowl, and then that'll be that until the next season rolls around.
Yep.
When we'll give our preseason QB tier list. All right, so NFL playoff previews. We have 2 games on Saturday, and then we have some other games on Sunday, and then we have that one game Monday night. Let's get to it. Chargers, Texans, and then we have Ravens, Steelers. So, Chargers, Texans. I'm gonna go off. I have the Chargers this game. I just think the way that the Texans have been playing these past 8 weeks, and the way that the Chargers, they were going up and down, but it seems like they're going in an upwards trajectory. They've been playing a lot better as of late. Justin Herbert and that passing attack has been playing a lot better as of late. And Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, that the tackle position has been tremendous for them. The running game, I think J.K. Dobbins just came back. I like this team. I think they beat the Texans in Houston, and they get away with the W.
Me on the other hand, I do agree with the Chargers pick. I'm picking the Chargers because I just think they just been playing better. Like, they played better competition, in my opinion, and they showed up against better competition as compared to the Texans. The Texans' offense has been pretty bad as of lately, and the Chargers' defense is pretty solid. Actually, pretty good. Jim Harbaugh got them dudes ready to play. And so, based off what I've seen recently, I have no reason to want to pick the Texans. You know, the Chargers got a 3-point favorite on the road, so that should let you know that they think this is at least a touchdown game. So unless the Texans defense steps up and puts a lot of pressure on Herbert, and then Stingley can cover those guys like Ladd and all that stuff, then hey. But until that happens, I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
What you're saying? Whoever makes the 3 biggest plays.
Yeah, 3 biggest plays.
I think that's what it's going to be this game. I will say that Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are both top 10 in pass rush win rate. They're 2 of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And Derek Stingley, he's an all-world corner. But you're going to need more in order to beat this team.
And this is a team they have strong tackles.
Mm-hmm.
They got Slater and Joe Alt, so good luck.
And their defense is no slouch either. They have a good defense.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think that Texans offense can put up enough points. I think the Chargers are just going to be the more disciplined team. They're going to be the more consistent team throughout the game. And Justin Herbert is just going to make a lot more plays. Justin Herbert is the better quarterback. He's been the better quarterback this season. I just like the Chargers a lot more than I do the Texans at this moment.
And I think I trust the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh situationally more than the Texans. So.
Right. All right, let's go to the Ravens versus the Steelers game now. No Zay Flowers' games, which is very disappointing.
I don't think it matters.
I think I might have jinxed the Ravens a little bit when I texted the group chat. I was like, Zay Flowers is going to cost them in the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, I didn't mean to do it. That was my fault, Ravens fans. I'm sorry about that. But I didn't think he was going to get injured. I was thinking, in a game, but not get injured the last regular season game like that. I felt a bit bad about that. But I still have the Ravens this game. The Ravens defense have been playing a lot better. If you look at just the total defense, if you look at some of the advanced analytics, they're one of the best. Matter of fact, I think they're number 1 at stopping the run. And they're top 10 in total defense. They have been tremendous these past 8 weeks, whatever it is. Ever since the defense has just looked bad, they made some sort of adjustment. I forget what it is, but they have been really good. They have 2 dudes on the defensive line that is top 20 in pass rush win rate. I didn't even know that. I was like, really? They're still one of the worst at pass rush win rate, but they have 2 dudes that are in the top 10 at pass rush win rate, which I thought was very impressive.
Is it Matabuki and Calvin Noy?
I think Calvin Noy might be in there, and then it's somebody else. But yeah, they got 2 dudes, man. I was like, wow, I'm very impressed. Their defense has been playing all world. I just think the Steelers' offense has been egregious as of late. Russell Wilson has deteriorated as a quarterback, and George Pickens is crashing out every single play when he doesn't get the ball. I just don't like the way this offense has looked. It seems like they peaked. It seems like every single year with Mike Tomlin teams that lack the offensive talent, they always peak at a certain time of the year, and then all of a sudden they just crash down to earth. They make the playoffs, and they just get cooked once they make the playoffs. Yeah. So I look at it like that. I think the Ravens defense will have their way against the Steelers. It's going to be a competitive game, but ultimately at the end, the team with the better record, the team with home field advantage, the team with the better quarterback, and just the more consistent team as of late will prevail, and I like the Ravens this game.
Yeah, I like the Ravens easily. The fact that it's a 9.5 spread when the Ravens are missing their number one wide receiving option says quite a lot about the Steelers. And the Steelers, this is an AFC North. AFC North matchup, so anything could happen. But the way the Steelers have been playing recently, doesn't inspire much confidence. I'm gonna be honest with you. The offense has been looking bad. The defense has regressed, in my opinion. So yeah, man, the Ravens have been playing better ball. They're the better team in my eyes.
Right. So let's move on to Sunday's matchups, where we have the first game, Broncos Bills. I don't even need to look at any stats to know that the Bills are going to win this game. I have no faith that the Broncos will beat the Bills. I like some of their defensive pieces. Obviously, Patrick Surtain, who's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And
All Pro too.
Sean Payton has done a remarkable job in turning around this team, turning around this franchise to where they were before, making the playoffs for the first time since they won the Super Bowl.
2015.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. It's great to see Bo Nix, rookie had a pretty good rookie season. I just think this is where things end. I think they get blown out. I think the Bills run away with this game. I don't think it's going to be a competitive game. And I just expect Josh Allen and the crew to have their way against the Broncos. I think their defense is good, but it can be had at times. And I like the Bills this game.
Yeah, I like the Bills, honestly, too. I just feel like they're just the better team. They just been playing better. They've been playing better competition. And they just been more dominant than the Broncos. The Broncos are still a young team, with a young QB, and I'm not sure if Bo Nix is ready for this kind of pressure on the road, playing in Buffalo against the two-seeded, or was it?
Yeah, they're the two-seeded.
Yeah, the two-seeded Bills. When Josh Allen's having an MVP year, I don't know, man. I don't think he's ready for it just yet. Maybe a few years down the line, but as of right now, give me the Bills. But I know the Bills' defense, and the Bills' defense definitely is an elite group. I'm not sure they cover these 9 points.
Really? You think it's going to be closer than what I expect?
It probably won't. The game probably won't be close watching it, but the end score will probably look a little different.
So they'll get a bunch of.
They'll probably be up 2 scores in about a 2-minute warning, then the Broncos get the ball and score, and then stuff like that.
Gotcha. It's one of those things. Okay, no, that sounds about right. Other games. Packers, Eagles. You already know. I already said it in the previous. I already said in the previous podcast, but I think the Packers lose this game. I was looking at the stats. I think the Eagles are number 1 in total defense. The Eagles are top 10 in run stopping. The Eagles are, I think, number 1 in passing defense. There's no way the Packers are winning this game. The only way I can see the Packers winning this game is Jalen Hurts just looks completely awful. He looks like very rusty. He looks like the guy that back when they played in Week 1, where he threw a couple of picks, where he was making a bunch of mistakes.
He hasn't played football in about 3 weeks.
But at the same time, that offense, they found an identity. They understand who they are. It doesn't seem like an offense where he really needs to make a whole bunch of. He's not the driving force of the offense per se. He's more of a game manager type. So I don't think when he comes back, he's gonna need to do a whole bunch to really make sure that the offense is productive. Because again, it goes through Saquon. Saquon is he's the offense itself. And then you could go to AJ Brown. Then you go to Devontae Smith, because their passing offense is like one of the worst. But their rushing offense is the best. So it's really the running game for them and then the passing game afterwards. I just think that he'll be fine considering just the style of offense that they're running right now. And the Packers defense, it's been good this year, but I just think they're not built to stop a team like the Eagles, where they have Saquon Barkley, who's the best running back in the league. They have an all-world just offensive line, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And then the defense as well, with Cooper DeJean, with Quayon Mitchell. They have the best secondary in the NFL. I just don't think they're equipped to handle that unless they make an adjustment, utilize the tight ends a lot more, figure out a way to get Josh Jacobs involved, just eliminate the turnovers, eliminate the mistakes. They're going to have to come out firing. They're going to have to come out just like they did against the Cowboys last year. Sorry about that. Where they just dominate from the start, and it's just like a punch in the face, like an uppercut to the face. Like, it was unexpected. One of those type of deals. If they don't do that, then they're not going to win, because Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia, in that cold, in that environment, it's very hard to win those type of games. So that's how I look at it. I just don't think they have a shot. But you never know. It's any given Sunday.
That is true. Any given Sunday. And honestly, I'm going to go with the Eagles in this matchup as well. But I think the Packers can actually put up a pretty solid fight, because LaFleur, he's a good coach. And he'll probably be able to do some things offensively that may catches Fangio off guard. Obviously, you won't be able to take stuff off the top because Christian Watson tore his ACL. But you can probably get him in the quick game. You know, Quinyon Mitchell and DeJean are good corners, but they still are young, and they will make rookie mistakes. So, and we're in the playoffs, so the stakes are a little higher. They're not used to playing football this long. So you could probably get them on something like Jaden Reed, cross the field type stuff. But other than that, the thing with the Packers or the Eagles is even if their offense starts out slow, that defense will buy them time. And that's the thing you don't want. That's what you say. You got to come out firing out the gate. Or it's 4 extra, we'll say off the back. Because if you don't, then the defense that you give the Eagles offense enough time to figure out what's going on and how to score. You gonna be down 14 right out the half. So you like you said, the Packers got to come out front. You got to get Josh Jacobs involved. Maybe not always just running up the middle or running on 1st and 10, play action. You can do all kind of stuff out the backfield. Josh Jacobs can catch the ball. He has like quite a bit of receiving yards for his career. But but still, I'm going Eagles. I don't think they cover 5 points.
If I'm the Packers and Matt LaFleur, the thing that I have to just pound my desk on is, when we play this game, we're going to be aggressive. We're not going to be conservative at all. We're not going to be like, you know what, we're going to punt. You know, it's 4th and 2. We're going to go for it. You need to be aggressive against this team, against this defense, against an offense with Saquon Barkley. You cannot allow the Eagles offense to score before you. You have to be the team that dictates the game. And I think if the Packers score early, you have to remember, a deficit like that, the Eagles are 29th in passing offense. You want the game to be dictated by Jalen Hurts, not Saquon Barkley in that running game. If you can have a lead against them, a touchdown, 2-touchdown lead against them, it will really put a lot of just emphasis, really put a lot on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts in that passing offense. And we've seen with A.J. Brown, him complaining, just some of the things, some of just the mishaps that have been going on with the quarterback and the star receiver. I believe in order to win, you have to make that happen. If not, you have no shot, unless Jalen Hurts just completely just plays awful out there. He throws 2 picks. He fumbles the ball. That's the only way you're going to win. Those 2 scenarios are the only way you're going to win. So, yeah, we'll see. Honestly, I can tell you this. We'll know how the game is going to turn out the first 2 drives. The first 2 drives will tell us all how the game is going to turn out. If the Packers don't score and the Eagles do score, you could pretty much turn the game off. That's pretty much it.
You know, I have an interesting stat here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, I was like, what if the Packers just like, you know, I know you said the Eagles have like the 29th passing offense. I'm like, what if the Packers just like blitz on passing downs? And I have an interesting stat.
Yeah.
It says Jalen Hurts has been 0 blitzed more than any QB. Oh, wait, that was last year. Oops. Never mind. Disregard it. But last year, but I mean, it's kind of relevant. But last year, they said he had a negative 30-something EPA when he was 0 blitz. This year, he's been much better. But this is something that you can employ, especially since he's been a little rusty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe take him a little time to see the field. But it's definitely you got to do something. You got to do something to put Jalen Hurts on the rest, because you do not want him sitting back in the pocket, not finding anything, and he'll just run for a first down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last thing you want. And you got to be gap. You have to have gap integrity when you playing against the Eagles, because Saquon is a very shifty dude.
Mm-hmm.
So if your D line ain't ready to be disciplined and play their gaps and hold the gap, he gonna run for 150 yards.
Yeah, it's got to be disciplined against this team, and I just don't think that the Packers are disciplined enough with their age, with just the way that they've shown in the past weeks against great teams. I just don't think they have they're disciplined enough. They have the talent. It's just got to be disciplined. I just don't think they have that in them. But, you know, we're telling you what exactly needs to happen in order to win. I just don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? With everything we've heard about Nick Sirianni, with everything we heard about just the team, yeah, they're winning games, but it just doesn't seem like the type of team that's going to win a Super Bowl. Like, you never know. You never know in these situations. It's happened in the past.
Now, the one thing I can say that may bite the Eagles in the butt is coaching, like you said. Because Kellen Moore and also Nick Sirianni, situationally, at times, it's like, what were you thinking there? And I guarantee that will probably end up being the reason why they would lose in these playoffs this year, is because of situational football.
Right. Yeah, man, you're right. You're right about that. Because we've seen it in the past where I remember people keep bringing this up, especially Packers fans, but 2011, I think it was, when they won the Super Bowl, that playoffs. Remember, the first round, they faced the Eagles, and they won. Now, that was with Andy Reid, but you just never know.
Wasn't that the Eagles team people swore was like super stacked?
I think it was the next season.
Oh, that was
the next season when they were like, oh, a super team. Yeah. You just never know. In this scenario, with the way that the Eagles have been looking, the passing offense being very one-dimensional, not that great, relying so heavily on Saquon Barkley, if they stop the running attack, which they've been pretty good this year, it's going to put a lot on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts, and they can get to Jalen Hurts if that's the case. But you have to stop the running game. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a good chess match. It's going to be a good chess match. Let's go to the next game.
Commanders versus
Buccaneers. This is your game right here. Your favorite game. This one is interesting as well. I didn't notice, but Dante Fowler, I think he's top 20 in pass rush win rate.
Yeah.
I think doesn't he have like over 10 sacks or something?
He has something like that.
Yeah. They're actually one of the best teams, I think. I was looking at just win rates. They're one of the best teams, I believe, if I can find the stat. I wish I had
their edges get quite a bit of pressure.
Yeah, their O-line is actually pretty underrated.
That is also true.
Yeah, their O-line is pretty underrated. If I can find it real quick. Hold on. Damn. Here it is. So they're 7th in pass rush win rate. They're 9th in pass blocking win rate and 2nd in run blocking win rate.
Their run blocking win rate is that high, but yet they can't run the ball?
I think that is due to the running back. Brian Robinson has been a bit of a disappointment. Yeah. So they're probably going to need to go get a running back in the draft because he's been – a lot of Commanders fans have said he's been a bit disappointing. He can't really do much. He's not all that explosive. But, yeah, they have a good little thing going in the trenches for the most part. That very underrated. I still have the Buccaneers winning this game. We might disagree on this one. You don't? I thought you had I thought you would pick the Commanders in this situation. I have the Buccaneers in this game. I just think I have to see. I have to see what's the offensive coordinator?
Cliff
Kingsbury. I have to see him in this environment. I just don't trust him in these settings where in the playoffs it's a lot different than the regular season. Guys are studying tape of you for a good week, more time to study a team. I just don't see them going out there and having a good offensive game plan. Jaden Daniels is still a rookie at the end of the day. I know the Buccaneers defense isn't all that great, but it's Todd Bowles at the end of the day. He's still a wizard when it comes to defense, and I just believe that the offense just won't be able to keep up with the Buccaneers at the end. The Buccaneers offense is just too good. Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore is coming back, but man, the way Baker Mayfield has been diamond.
People say, he gonna shut down Mike Evans, but like Jalen McMillan has been very good.
Yo,
Cade Otton has been very good.
Besides that one dude from Washington, them Washington receivers are pretty good. Besides that one dude with the Patriots,
Jalen Polk.
Yeah, besides him, them other dudes, they can hoop. Romo Dunze, McMillan, like them dudes can hoop.
What's his name? The other dude ain't even got on the field yet.
Who? They had 4? I thought it was just like 3
I
receivers
thought,
that was drafted. I thought it was Polk, McMillan, Romo Dunze.
The Steelers?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But man, they got dudes, bro. They got dudes. Ever since Chris Godwin got hurt, McMillan stepped up, and Mike Evans, he's back. He's been tremendous for them. I just think that passing attack, the way Baker Mayfield has played, he does get turnover prone. I just believe that offense is too good in that environment, and that weather is just perfect for them. They'll prevail. That offense is just going to be too explosive with Bucky Irvin, with Rashad White. Them dudes are just going to be too good, and I expect them to win this game.
Yeah, my concerns with the Commanders, and I can speak from experience because they have some members that used to be on my teams, and I seen how they would come out during playoff time. I don't trust Dan Quinn's defense, Joe Witt, whoever you want to call. I don't trust their defense to come out and be ready to play. I've seen this story year after year after year. We go to the playoffs. We expect the defense to all the numbers look great. We top 5 for this and pass, and that stuff just doesn't show up when it's time to play a good team in the playoffs. And I just think it'll happen again. I mean, the dudes. You got some dudes, but like Deron Payne and John, they have disappointing seasons for as much as they getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't trust Dan Quinn's defense. I just don't. I've seen this movie so many times. I could probably recite it front and back. But yeah, that's pretty. I think the offense will be fine. They may start out a little slow because playoff jitters. A lot of these dudes ain't even been played in a playoff game before. But I do think the offense will get it together over time. I kind of trust Cliff King because the Tampa Bay defense, they got dudes, but they as a unit, they aren't the greatest. They got bright spots, but as a unit, and I think they're dealing with injuries. I think Whitehead was in a car crash or something like that. So I don't even know if he's even want to play, but he might. But yeah, I don't trust the defense. And my thing is, Dan Quinn likes to tell his D linemen to get upfield. And that's probably why the rush win rate and all that stuff is good because he's coaching these guys to get up the field. But their rushing defense,
not good.
Garbage. That's what you sacrifice. You get pressure on the QB, but you sacrifice the ability to stop the run. And that's the story the Cowboys have had previously with Dan Quinn leading the defense. And it has definitely transferred to the Commanders because Bijan Robinson was tearing them up. Rico and Deuce Vaughn was tearing them up in Week 18, and so on and so forth. So my thing is, how you gonna stop Bucky Irvin? The average is about 4.5 a pop.
Mm-hmm.
And Rashad White can do some things out the backfield too. So I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah, and by the way, just to help your argument, they are 23rd in run stop win rate. So that just helps your argument in that they're not a good run stopping defense at all.
Exactly.
So it makes sense. It makes sense.
I mean, I think I like Lattimore and Saren Steele. Saren Steele is a rookie, but he's played pretty solid. But if Lattimore was to go out mid-game, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
You ain't about to put 5 and 10 Saren Steele on 6'4", 6'3", No, Mike Evans going to torture that boy.
Yeah, without Lattimore, they have the
They're
worst
finished.
secondary in the NFL by far.
Yeah.
Because that other dude,
St. Juiced.
bro, they let go of Emmanuel Forbes, and he was bad. And at this point, I'm thinking, damn, maybe Emmanuel Forbes was better than him. Because the way he's looked, whenever Lattimore's not in the game, oh my God, it is a nightmare. Good God, they need to draft a corner in the draft because it is bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. All right, last game. We have the Rams versus Vikings. It's going to be played in Arizona because the wildfires and stuff like that, unfortunately. But I have the Vikings this game. I just like Kevin O'Connell. I like Brian Flores. I like the talent that they have. I know they lost to the Lions. I know that they lost to the Rams weeks ago. But ever since then, I think they've gotten a lot better. I think Sam Darnold has been playing a lot better ever since that collapse against the Rams on Thursday night, I believe. Thursday or Sunday night. Yeah, man, I just like their talent. I like their offense. I like their passing attack. I like their defensive scheme. I like their defensive players. The Rams are healthy. I believe this is going to be a close game. It's going to be a competitive game. But ultimately, the team with the better dudes are going to win, in my opinion. And I'm going to go with the team with the better dudes.
So you're going all favorites this week. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going all favorites.
Vikings versus Rams. This is going to be a good one for sure, in my opinion. With that being said, I like the Rams.
Really? You like the upset? Wow. Why? Why you like the Rams?
Mostly because of pedigree. It's a bunch of dudes. Well, not a bunch of dudes, but that coaching staff knows what it's like to win. The QB knows what it's like to win. Cooper Kupp, vet leadership. Puka, he's phenomenal. I don't know how anyone on the Vikings is going to guard him. Kyron Williams is still good in my opinion. I think we may get a shaky Sam Darnold for Monday, or at least for a portion of the game. But I would love to see the Vikings versus Detroit. I think I already know that's how that's going to go. But I do think we get a shaky Sam Darnold, and it's just the Vikings in the playoffs. Like this happens all the time. Like Vikings look so good, then they're like, oh. Ooh.
But that was Kirk Cousins.
That is true. But Sam Darnold showed me some stuff last week. I don't know, the Lions are the best team in the NFC. It's like getting confused. But I think the Rams can replicate some of the stuff they were doing. They may not have the star. They don't have like a Brian Branch or anything. But they do have good coaching.
I don't know, man. They're not, first of all, just on the offensive side of things, I don't think they're as explosive as the Lions. That's number one. I think number two, I understand your point, but you really think the Vikings are going to lose to two teams twice? They lost to the Lions twice, and now they're going to lose to the Rams twice in the same season? Just think about it. That is, you know how bad of a look that would be? I just don't see that happening,
it's Minnesota sports, so I'm not putting anything past them.
Man, I understand that, but I just don't see that happening. Their coaching is just too good. They have too much talent. Who's going to guard Puka? Who's going to guard Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? What you mean? So you just think Sam Darnold
before?
You just think Sam Darnold's going to be so bad that it doesn't matter?
I ain't saying it's so bad, but listen, you turn the ball over once and that could be the game.
I just don't see it, man. I just don't.
You didn't see it against the Lions either.
But the Lions they're a division opponent. So it makes sense that they would have their number. But against the Rams again, I just can't see it.
I will say that now that it's on neutral field, you definitely have the more, okay, let's just look top to bottom, team to team, and we can compare. Because the Rams no longer have that home field advantage, even though they don't really have a home field advantage. But that's another story. It makes sense to go with the Vikings. But something just tells me I think the Rams get them.
I think you're underrating just how important Aaron Glenn is to that Lions defense.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are, because you're comparing how the Lions did things against the Vikings, and you believe that the Rams defense can replicate that. I don't think that they have a Aaron Glenn type of defensive coordinator that is good enough to come up with a game plan that will really affect Sam Darnold in that offense. I just don't see that. I just think Aaron Glenn and the coaching staff on the Lions are just so elite. They're just that good. I don't think there's another team with a better coaching staff besides the Chiefs. I think we're overlooking just how great that Lions coaching staff is. The Rams are good. Sean McVay, Super Bowl champion. But that Lions coaching staff and what they have been doing this entire season is unbelievable. So I get your point, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one, respectfully.
I mean, that's fair. You can agree. You can disagree. That's what it's all about. But, stuff happens. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday or Monday in this case. So, I still like my Rams picking. I still believe.
All right.
I would be glad if the Vikings won because I would like to see, them get some enjoyment or whatever out of the season, out of the getting 14 wins, which is phenomenal for a team we thought. How many wins we projected them to get? About 8,
I thought
9?
I thought they'd be the worst in the division.
Oh wow, yeah. So
yeah,
that would be a great accomplishment. But I just trust the Rams more.
All right. I mean, they do have the better quarterback and they have the more experienced coach, but I'm just go with the team with the better dudes.
I need Sam Darnold to see it and rip it.
Okay.
Because if he gets gunshot like he did last week, it's over. Because the plays were there to be made.
All right.
The Aaron Glenn came out with a good game plan, but Sam Darnold definitely left plays on the field. And if he does that this week, it's over.
All right. Well, that is our wild card picks. Now we're going to get to something more interesting. We're going to give our predictions for who do we think is going to represent the NFC and the AFC for the Super Bowl. We're going to get very, we're going to give our hot takes now. I wouldn't say it's a hot take. Just give our predictions. I'll say this. I don't think any team is beating the Chiefs. In the AFC, I think the Chiefs are Thanos. You have to have a real squad, like a legitimate squad that's just so great that it can overcome all that black magic that the Chiefs have. I don't think there's a team out there in the AFC that can do that. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs in the AFC. As for the NFC, this is where things get very interesting because you can just point to so many different teams. But after what I've seen in these past 4 or 5 weeks, I'm not going to go with all the hype of the Eagles. I'm gonna stick with the Lions. After what I saw against the Vikings and how they were able to affect Sam Darnold so much without all that defensive talent, I have to trust the Lions in this scenario. Their elite coaching, that elite offense. It just seems like destiny that we're going to have a Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl. What about you?
Dang. I was thinking the same thing because I'm looking around the landscape of the AFC and it's really in my opinion it's Lamar or bust. If Lamar can't get it done, then it's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. But thing is with Ravens, I just don't see them going to Arrowhead and pulling out a win. I just don't. Even though I think did the Bengals do that or the Bengals home that time?
Bengals were no, they went on. I think they may have went to Arrowhead because if you recall, the Chiefs had a better record than the Bengals.
So I just don't see the Ravens. They've been playing really good. The defense has been playing really good as of lately, but it's just something about Lamar in the playoffs. He has the opportunity to do something great, and that I don't know. I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe. I'm gonna ride with the Chiefs until I'm wrong. People, they gotta show me. I'll be happy if we get a Ravens versus Lions Super Bowl. You kidding me?
Oh,
that would be box office.
I'll be amazed for sure.
But as of right now, they're gonna have to show me they could beat the Chiefs. So I'm a down my sword or the hill that the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. And on the NFC side, like I said, I'm not buying into the Eagles hype. They may go to the championship game, but they ain't winning it. The Lions, they're just a much better coach team. They are more consistent. They're doing more with less, in my opinion, especially in the offensive side of the ball. And it's just, yeah, man, the Lions, they just a different breed. Like, they're cut from different cloth. And I think they have the intangibles in order to match up with a team like the Chiefs. They may not have the talent. I mean, talent-wise, it's kind of similar, honestly. They just both have really good coaching. The coaching is about equal, in my opinion. I mean, I give a slight edge to the Chiefs because they have the championships. Experience champions. I'll give the edge to the Chiefs coaching. Roster-wise, it's about even, but I'll give the Chiefs the edge because Pat Mahomes is better than Jared Goff, in my opinion.
I think also injuries took a toll on the Lions. If the Lions were all healthy, I'd go Lions.
But the whole theme of the season is the Lions just overcoming. So, pause, that was crazy. Overcoming adversity. So, I don't know, man. The Lions versus Chiefs just makes sense to me. It's like the team that's expected to do everything, but the team that was counting out because of injuries and stuff, still overcoming all of that and getting to the big game.
My fear when it comes to the Lions is that because they just have the Vikings number, a divisional opponent, that we get blindsided. That's my fear when it comes to the Lions. Because, yes, their offense is outstanding, and they were still able to get the number 1 seed. But are we underrating the Eagles a little bit for the fact that because the Lions took down an opponent that was tied with them on the win and loss column and in the same division, that we all automatically assume that, because they beat the Vikings, which is a great team, that they can beat the Eagles as well. When in reality, it's a divisional opponent, and division games are a lot different than other games. My fear is that if we do see a Lions versus Eagles championship game matchup, that the Eagles are able to take advantage of a lot of the weaknesses on that Lions defense that the Vikings weren't able to capitalize on because, again, division opponents. And the quarterback, which is Sam Darnold, not used to those moments, not used to those situations. While with Jalen Hurts, with that team, they've been to the dance before, they've been to the Super Bowl, they've been to the playoffs multiple years. I'm just fearful that when we get to that situation, the Lions are going to get exposed. We'll get exposed.
I'll give you that. But my rebuttal to that is coaching. Kellen Moore ain't never stepped on these stages before. Now, Vic Fangio, we all know Vic Fangio, what he all about. But Kellen Moore, that 29th ranked offense, it's not going to cut it against the Lions. You can try to run the ball as much as you want, but the Lions are a tough team. And they will do everything in their ability to stop the run. Jalen Hurts is going to have to make some plays through the air, and if the scheme isn't good enough to do so, and let's not forget, I know the Eagles got great weapons, but we saw how they was covering Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison in them, and those are honestly they're about equal receiving core wise. So I mean, hey man, I don't know what it is, but them Lions they ready to play, and it'll be home field advantage too.
You're right. Yeah, my fear is that
I definitely get your sentiment of they could come out and get surprised because this is an opponent they're not familiar with. I will agree with that.
I'm fearful that if we do get a Lions versus Eagles matchup, with just how dominant the Eagles defense has been this entire season, and the secondary has looked this entire season, and just how physical they are, I just imagine the Eagles defense is the one defense that finally is able to just stop that Lions offense from doing anything well. Just from a passing attack perspective, maybe the running game might have its day, but from the passing game, like they need the passing game to work, or else it's just gonna not bode well for them. Because you got to remember, David Montgomery, he might come back, but he's still coming off of a major injury. You're going to put a lot on Jahmyr Gibbs' shoulders. I'm very just fearful that the Lions, that the Cinderella story that we've seen so far will come to an end against an Eagles team with equal, if not more talent than the Lions.
I want to give some context on this defense on the Eagles. I'm going to look at teams that are worth a ham sandwich. So, Packers, 1-score game. They scored 29 points. That was week 1, though. So, that don't really – I'm not really going to count the early season games. They did play the Buccaneers, got 33 put up on them. But that's before they really started getting the stride on defense. So, I'd say they probably got – once that Bengals game happened, I think the defense started to play at an elite level. So, Jaguars, that was a 1-score game. They beat the brakes off the Cowboys. That was expected. Cooper Rush was playing. Commanders, 1-score game. Rams, they beat the brakes off the Rams. Not going to lie. Ravens, 1-score game. Panthers, 1-score game. Steelers, they beat the brakes off the Steelers. I ain't going to lie. Commanders, they lost. Beat the brakes off the Cowboys with Cooper Rush. And the Giants, I believe the starters was playing. Well, certain starters were playing. Giants, it was a 1-score game. So, honestly, when they played elite teams, they haven't been dominant.
That Ravens game
was crazy.
You said 1-score game. I mean, yeah, at the end they scored a little bit, but for that most of that game,
the Eagles did have control.
That Eagles defense was dominant.
Yeah, and they were on the road. So I don't know what that was all about, but honestly, I think the Eagles defense is a little overrated in my opinion.
Whoa.
Just a little bit.
You think it's like when they went to the Super Bowl that one year, where you were like, man, they're number one in this, number one in that, but you said they can be had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Except Jalen Carter changes things a lot.
Yeah, a very lot. Yeah. All right.
And they got linebackers now, so.
Right.
Well, Zach Bonner, I don't think the Kobe Dean is still all that good. But.
Zach Bonner, I don't think he's still questionable to play, I believe. He might not play.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking. I think he's questionable. So.
Well, either way, I think they're going to beat the Packers. So he'll probably be back by any matchup with the Lions or something. So,
Right. Okay. Well, that is our prediction for who we think is going to make the Super Bowl. For the last topic, we want to go to college football. We had some games the past few days. Thursday.
Busted.
Yeah. We both picked Penn State. Yeah, unfortunately. Notre Dame versus Penn State. Great game to watch. Fun to watch. Drew Aller, I don't see the hype. He has a lot of talent, but he just doesn't have the tools that you need at a quarterback for the next level. I'm glad he's staying another year.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's staying another year.
People was talking crazy, saying he would have been QB1. Have you lost your mind?
Yeah, there's nothing about him that looks like a QB1 in the draft for me. He has a lot of talent, but he doesn't have the feel for the position. There's certain things, up here that you need in order to be great at the quarterback position. It's not just about who has the strongest arm, who can move the best. It's also about understanding certain coverages, being consistently accurate with the football, and he just can't do that. Against Notre Dame, he was missing passes, he was underthrowing passes. It's just certain stuff you just can't do as a college quarterback if you're trying to go to the next level, and he just doesn't have that yet. And that's just me. What was your thoughts on the Notre Dame Penn State game? It was a very close game. Matter of fact, I thought Penn State was about to walk them down, win this game. Drew all through a pick. What was your thoughts on the game?
Man, I honestly thought Penn State was going to win because that defense. Abdul Carter is phenomenal. He's honestly a top 3 player in the draft, easily, in my opinion. But I expected Penn State to kind of not run away, but at least win by a touchdown or so. But Notre Dame, is his name Marcus Williams?
Marcus Williams. Oh, you saw
the Notre Dame coach.
The coach, yeah.
Marcus Williams. He got them boys ready to play. Like I was impressed. They was out the gate. They was ready to. They was firing. I'm still not a fan of Notre Dame's quarterback, but he did enough to win the game. So that's really all you can ask for. Drew Aller kind of threw it away at the end of the game. So that's I was watching like glimpses. Like I was watching the stretch because I was moving around the house and stuff. But from what I did see, Notre Dame is a very well-coached team.
Marcus Freeman, by the way.
Oh, Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was Marcus something. Marcus Freeman, excuse me, got them boys ready to play. He making Brian Kelly look foolish because Brian Kelly left Notre Dame and went to LSU to say he wants to play the national championship game, and lo and behold, Notre Dame got into the national championship game before LSU. That's just a little irony. But yeah, man, Notre Dame, great game in my opinion.
Great game. They're very one-dimensional. Like, they're very run-heavy.
Oh yeah,
not all that great from the passing game, but they just know how to get it done. Offensively, defensively. I was looking at Penn State.
They got good corners too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Did you know not a single wide receiver had a yard
for Notre Dame or Penn State? Yeah, no. Yeah, I knew
that's
that.
crazy.
I know that is crazy. That goes down to Drew Aller and his inability to give the football to his receivers. Now, the receivers aren't all that talented, and they need to invest more into the receiver position, but he just has to do a better job giving the ball to those receivers. They had a lot of opportunity in that game to win, and they just weren't able to capitalize on it. Drew Aller, he needs to do better protecting the football, and he needs to make better decisions, and they just weren't able to do that, and they lost the game, unfortunately, because Abdul Carter was having, oh my God, just pay attention to him. You're going to be like, this dude is different.
He's an animal.
Yo, the way he could bend.
Yeah, his bend is crazy.
What? And
speed.
Did you see there was like one play where it wasn't even him getting to the quarterback. It was a run play, and he was like on this side, ran full speed to the other side, got to the running back. I'm like, yo.
And you know, this is his first year playing edge.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Get this dude a team that's going to develop. Oh my gosh, he's gonna be better than Micah.
Whoa, hot take. And they had him playing QB spy.
Yeah, he's got speed.
Yeah,
he can do it all.
It's just
he's like baby Micah.
He's not the best at like run stopping, but pass rushing ability.
That's because like size and all.
Yeah,
he's not like the biggest dude out there.
Pass rushing ability. If you need him to go side to side, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
He's in the running for the number one pick, in my opinion. Yeah. He's that good.
Mm-hmm.
He's not one of those Jadeveon Clownies or one of those type of dudes that he's good. He's good because of his speed. Like, no, this dude can actually rush the passer. He's one of those Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons type. Like those guys.
People didn't even know he could rush the passer. That was just something Dan Quinn said. Let's just try it out, and it just worked.
He's one of those type of guys where he's a freak of nature, but he's also very talented as a pass rusher as well. They comparing him like T.J. Watt to I think maybe even Daniil Hunter and some other pass rushers as well.
That's good company.
I feel like he's definitely one of those type of guys for sure. I saw Micah Parsons. He was like, "Get him on my team. I want to play with him." Well, Micah, I think in order for the Cowboys to get him, they might have to trade you. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen unless they trade him or CeeDee Lamb.
Absolutely not. You ain't trading the only wide receiver worth the ham sandwich on my team.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, yeah, that's the dream, but it ain't going to come true. That's all I got to say on that,
Jerry would have to pay off 11-plus GMs in order for him to fall to 12.
They had some other dudes on that D-line on Penn State. I was like, these guys, they might be able to play on Sunday too. 33, 28, I forget their names, but them dudes on that D-line was wrecking havoc as well. I'm like, they got some dudes. But that secondary stinks. That one dude that got cooked.
Oh, yeah, he fell. He got put on his butt. That was crazy.
That was crazy. I was like,
I saw him trying to maneuver in the open field, make the tackle. I said, he's not going to get this tackle. I ain't expect him to fall, though.
Nah.
Feel like a cartoon.
But my thing with Drew Aller is this. Because if you come back, Tyler Warren's not going to be there. By the way, oh, my God, him?
That's the running back, right?
No, that's the tight end. He's the number one tight end.
In the top 15 or something like that.
Yo, he is like that. The way, bro, look how he runs. The dude is built different. Like he's in that mold with Brock Bowers, where it's like he doesn't run like a tight end. Like he runs like a receiver almost, and he could block too. Like he does a lot of different things for them. He is outstanding. I've watched him this year as well on a couple of different games. I think against USC they played, and he was just outstanding. That dude is built different, but if he comes back, he's not going to have him. And I don't know about the running backs if they're juniors or seniors yet, but those two running backs are amazing. Like, he had 2,000-yard rushing running backs in the backfield. Both of them ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
That's how
Singleton and Wallace?
Yeah. Both of them.
Or was it Katron Allen?
No, it's Katron Allen.
It's Katron Allen
Katron
and Singleton, right?
Yeah. Nicholas Singleton. Both of them dudes can run the football. That was probably the best Penn State offense we've seen ever, maybe. And they couldn't beat Notre Dame. But, I don't want to harp on this game too much. Let's get to the other game that happened Friday night, which was Texas versus Ohio State. And I ain't going to lie, I thought this was going to be a blowout.
I did.
I thought it was going to be uncompetitive early throughout the game. Texas surprised me for a large portion of that game. Man. But then the momentum started to turn, I believe, at the end of the first half when Ohio State scored that quickly.
To Travion Henderson,
that's when the momentum really changed. Yeah. Although you could say, well, Texas, they were still in the game for a lot of it. I felt like Texas had a lot of momentum before that play, and I was like, okay, Texas, they can do this.
They had that Quinn Ewers threw that touchdown.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden Ohio State scores quickly, and it's like, damn.
Like, you did all that, and we just matched that, just like that.
And then, here's my thing I got to criticize Steve Sarkisian for. Those red zone plays.
Had so many opportunities.
The pitch play.
2nd and 1 on the goal line, and you said, let's throw a toss.
That toss play was just egregious. Against this team? With that speed?
Exactly.
Why?
I wouldn't even do that in Madden or college football 25.
Toss plays never work in the red zone. I swear to you. Every time I see a coach call a toss play in the red zone, it never works. Why would you do that? And then the third down play happens, and I think Quinn Ewers, was that the play where he fumbled or he got sacked?
He got sacked.
Well,
sacked, fumble. It was something like that.
Yeah. So that play, the toss play ended up having an effect on the next play where you had the sack and the fumble, and then Jack Sawyer was able to scoop it up and score a touchdown. It's just stuff like this where you look at Steve Sarkisian. He's a good coach, but he overthinks things too much when there's certain times of the game in big games, in big spots where you need to just make a simple run play down the middle, QB sneak, slant. What are we doing? Remember, I think beginning of the game, they went for it on 4th down.
Yep.
And the play calling, I'm just looking at some of these plays. I think it was 4th and 3, 4th and 2.
Yeah, it was something like that.
The play design was horrible.
Yeah.
It was awful. Ohio State defense was able to just predict it so easily. They didn't really have to do much. It's just something about him as a coach I'm just not a believer in. What was your thoughts on the game?
Man, like I said, I thought this was going to be like a blowout, but Texas surprised, especially the Texas defense definitely surprised because they bend, but they didn't break. They like the Ohio State got into past the 50-yard line, plenty of drives, but the Texas Longhorns they stood up. They stood on their own feet. They really buckled down and was able to force some punts, which I didn't think was probably Jeremiah Smith. He only had 1 catch for 3 yards. I want to say those Texas corners and safeties, they did what they had to do, but they had underneath was open all night for Ohio State, and that's what really kind of killed them in the end. But it's just, man, Quinn Ewers. I never saw it. I honestly didn't see it with this guy.
Either. We have a bunch of buddies that was proclaiming Quinn Ewers QB3. Is he the 3rd best QB in the draft? Like a year and a half ago, and I was like, am I watching the same thing you're watching? He has no arm, and he's playing in a system that he doesn't really have to think much. It's not much he really needs to do. I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, I honestly didn't see it with Quinn Ewers, and he played okay. He left some plays on the field for sure, but that fumble, I know the right tackle got absolutely smoked, but you got to be more aware than that. You just got to be. And you fumbled the game away. And then You come back the next drive, game's pretty much out of reach. Even if you did score, you probably wouldn't get the onside. You threw a pick to Caleb Downs. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Quinn Ewers' experiment is over. We've seen pretty much what he's only, 20?
Yeah, he's 21.
21, so he's still young relatively, but he's a, second-year starter?
Something like that. Second or third. I think his third year, what I remember, he got, against Alabama.
Ohio State, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then remember, I think they played Alabama one year. This is the year, like Texas, they were still rebuilding, trying to get things going. And they had B. John. I think he got injured versus Alabama. I think he was out for the rest of the year. And then next year was that was the previous season where they went all the way to the Final Four. College football playoffs. They lost to Washington this year. So he's been a starter for like 2.5 years, I want to say. And, you're right. The experiment is pretty much over. We know what he is. Even the play, if you remember, they were close to the red zone, and he threw it to a receiver, got called for pass interference. If you notice, the safety was blitzing, and if he didn't throw the ball, I don't even think he noticed that there was a blitz across. The safety was blitzing, and I was telling my cousin, he was like, did he see that there was a blitz coming? Because there was no blitz, there was no sort of protection right there. These are just some things that you just look at him and it's like, I just don't see he has the mental and just the physical traits in order to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I think he'll get drafted late in the draft, but if you expect him to start in the NFL, I think you need to temper your expectations.
And we see that a lot with these college QBs. They have talent, but they just don't see it. They just don't see the field. They don't see. They don't read the defenses properly, and it's gonna make QB scouting a lot more difficult moving forward. Because the way the NIL and transfer portal, coaches want to plug and play these dudes, and it's just like they're not really developing in a system. They're just like, oh, we're just gonna plug this guy in. If it don't work, so well, he'll transfer another year. So. Yeah, I think there's going to be an issue developing QBs going in the future. Like, look how long it took Bryce Young to get acclimated and started looking like somewhat of a first overall pick.
And you know what concerns me about some of these QBs, like Drew Aller and Quinn Ewers, I noticed something. I get it, all right? You see that your receiver is getting held, and so what you're going to do, you're going to throw it towards their direction because you want the referee to throw a flag. But sometimes they don't always throw flags on those plays. They might not see it, or they might say, hey, this is going to be a physical game, going to let them play. Those type of things I get a bit worried about because that's such a risky thing to do. And Drew Aller, he got away with that one. That was a bad penalty.
Yeah, that was.
Because the ball, it wasn't catchable.
Nope.
And with Quinn Ewers on that play in the red zone, it was, you could argue it was a catchable ball, but it's just very risky to do those type of things. And I don't want them to rely on that too much because the refs won't always call it.
That is true.
So that's just another thing you need to look out for when evaluating these QBs, some of their decision making, how they look at certain things. Because, man, those two right there, those are some of the things I noticed. So now we have the championship game.
Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
I'm going Ohio State.
Beats the brakes off these dudes.
Yeah.
Respectfully, the talent gap is just way too big in my eyes. Marcus Freeman's a great coach, but
too one-dimensional.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I think they'll do better against the Ohio State receiving core than people give them credit for because Notre Dame, they got some corners. They got two corners. I believe one corner, a lot of people is starting to put him over Will Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, if you remember Texas, that they had that corner who won the award over Travis Hunter. I forgot the dude's name.
Barron? Is it Barron?
It may be, but he was he did a great job against
well, they had they had like safety help every play for Jeremiah Smith, which I don't blame him.
But I would too.
I mean, but it's the running game. Ohio State, they like to get the running backs the ball. Travion Henderson and Judkins. So I just don't see Notre Dame being able to
Stop
last the
running
war
game.
of attrition talent wise.
I think the thing that really hurt Ohio State's offense throughout the Texas game was they were trying to take so many deep shots. If you notice, like the announcers would say, the Ohio State. One of the things I noticed is just how much they tried to be aggressive in taking deep shots, and it just didn't work out for them. But when they started to get back to, okay, we're going to take underneath route, we're going to take underneath throws, we're going to run the ball more effectively, it worked. So for Ohio State and Will Howard, because Will Howard, he was struggling portions of that game, just stay with the game plan, don't get too aggressive, remember to run the ball effectively, because I don't care. I don't think Notre Dame can stop them. I don't think they have the dudes that are talented enough to stop their running attack. I expect them to win this. They got this in the bag, in my opinion.
They should, yeah.
Unless the offense does something silly, which is possible with Ryan Day coach teams, because in the past they have done some very shaky things. I just don't see Marcus Freeman having enough talent to overcome just what Ohio State has at their disposal. It seems like destiny.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. So yeah, we all got Ohio State. What's the line for this game?
I don't know.
Let me see. Man, ESPN is so weird with the tickers when you're trying to. Okay, the line is at Ohio State 9.5.
Wow.
That sounds about right.
Wow. Yeah, man. It is what it is.
And I believe since technically Notre Dame is the home team, I think they get the 3 points because they have the seeding advantage. But I don't know.
But they're going to be in a neutral site.
Yeah,
bro. It's a championship game.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if they betting still does. Whoever has the better record, they get the points. I mean, the better seeding gets the points, but whatever. But yeah, 9.5. That sounds about right.
All right, man. Well, that'll do it on the NFL, college football. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to tune in all the other videos as well. Link in the description for that. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Just let me be me.